The Constitution was made as a framework for the federal government of the United States of America. It says that the government should be separated into three separate branches. Those three branches are the executive branch, which includes the president, the legislative branch, which includes Congress, and the judicial branch, which includes the Supreme Court. We proudly present the three branches of government, how they function. The American system of government was created by our founding fathers so that no one branch of the government would be more powerful than the other. First, the legislative branch makes the law. Second, the executive branch executes the law. Last, the judicial branch interprets the law. Each branch performs separate functions and checks the other branch's functions in different ways. They each have an effect on one another. Perhaps most importantly, every branch must respond to the will of the American people. That is a powerful statement. So what does each branch do, and what kind of checks and balances are made on each branch? Let's start with a look at the legislative branch of the U.S. government. What are the roles and responsibilities of the legislative branch? Remember, this is the branch of the government that makes laws. They are the group of people known as Congress. Congress is divided into two parts, the House of Representatives and the Senate. In the House of Representatives, all states are represented, and the number of representatives is determined by that state's population. As of now, the state of California holds the most number of representatives at 53, since it is also the most populous state in America. Currently, there are a total of 435 representatives. The members serve a term of 2 years, and there is no limit to how many times they can get re-elected. Every 2 years, there is usually over 100 representatives running for re-election. It's hard to understand why someone would run for a position in the House of Representatives. Some run because they feel like it is their civic duty, while others run in order to change a policy, and some run in hopes of stepping into a political position higher up. There are three requirements that a person must fulfill in order to run for election in the House of Representatives. And these requirements are found in the U.S. Constitution. You must be a minimum of 25 years old at the time of induction. You must be a resident of the state in which your district resides. You must have been a U.S. citizen for 7 years prior to induction. Now, these are just the technical requirements to be in the House of Representatives. Most candidates for Congress are well-respected and upstanding members within their communities. They usually have at least some political experience either on the local or state level. The Speaker of the House of Representatives is elected by the members of the House. Typically, the Speaker is the leader of the majority party and is the controlling officer of the chamber. The principal role of the House of Representatives is to submit national legislation that encompasses the entire country. They vote on revenue and tax laws. A bill must be approved by the Senate as well as the President of the United States in order for it to be carried out as a law. However, if the President declines or vetoes the bill, then Congress can resubmit it if they get at least 2/3 of the majority in both the Senate and the House of Representatives. Along with initiating bills, the House of Representatives can also impeach government officials if there is a reason to. The House can also choose the President if the Electoral College is stuck in a deadlock tie. The House of Representatives has a huge power in their job description of regulating the country's government. The House of Representatives holds their sessions in the South Wing of the United States Capitol. In the Senate, all states are represented equally by 2 senators, regardless of the population in the state. The members serve a term of 6 years. These terms are staggered so that approximately 1/3 of the seats are up for election every 2 years. That way, everyone is not running for election at the same time. The requirements in the U.S. Constitution for a person to run for election into the Senate are: you must be a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years when elected to the Senate. You must be at least 30 years of age. You must be a resident of the state that the senator represents. These are just the legal requirements. Typically, a U.S. senator has had previous political experience before being elected, though this is definitely not a prerequisite. The Vice President of the United States presides over the Senate. Other Senate leadership includes the President pro tempore, who leads the Senate in the absence of the Vice President, a Majority Leader, who appoints members to lead and serve on various committees, and a Minority Leader. The Majority Party is a political party, either Republican or Democrat, that has the majority of the seats or spots in Senate. If for some reason there is a tie, the Vice President's political affiliation determines the majority party. The next largest party is known as the Minority Party. The President pro tempore, committee chairs, and some other officials are generally from the majority party. Both parties, majority and minority, also have a person called a whip who helps organize the senators' votes along political party lines. The main function of the Senate is to look at decisions that the President has made and decide if they agree with the President. While the House of Representatives has the power to suggest impeachment of the President, Vice President, or civic officials, the Senate is the court once the impeachment goes to trial. With a 2/3 majority, the Senate can remove an official from office. The Senate also investigates matters of national interest. In the past, these matters have ranged from the Watergate break-in to organized crime to the Vietnam War. The President of the United States may be the one who negotiates treaties and agreements with other countries, but the Senate must approve them in order for them to take effect. The chamber of the United States Senate is located in the north wing of the Capitol, in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. The Senate is commonly the more deliberative of the two chambers of Congress. A debate on the floor may go on indefinitely, or at least until every senator has said everything they want to say on an issue. Some seem to talk forever. This is called a filibuster, a delay from further action by debating a topic at length. The only way to end a filibuster is through a motion of cloture, which requires the vote of 60 senators. If truth be told, what are the major differences between a representative and a senator other than technical requirements? A senator votes whether or not to confirm the president's judicial nominees. United States representatives do not have this right or responsibility. House of Representatives can introduce bills that raise revenue, like tax bills. Senators are restricted from doing so. They are permitted to introduce other types of bills. However, the Senate is permitted to reject or make amendments to the representatives' bills. United States representatives are responsible for choosing the president in the event that the Electoral College is unable to provide a decision. The Senate does not take part in that. On the other hand, they may be called on to vote for a vice president if the electoral vote is tied. Representatives are expected to vote on whether or not to begin the impeachment process. The Senate holds trials for impeached public officials. A senator also has the power to vote